Hello everyone, welcome to yet another session on soft skills and interpersonal communication skills with me Waheeda, Assistant Professor at the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal, Hyderabad. In the last video, we discussed about speaking skills and how effective they are, the skills if you have, how it can improve our personal relationship with people around us at workplace, in our personal life, with our extended family, our relatives, our neighborhood, and even at our workplace or wherever. If you are studying, it is in your institutions and other places. It has impacted most of the people in a better way. If they are good at speaking skills, they can make a mark in the society. Since we all have studied that speaking is an act of making vocal sounds, and also it means to converse or expressing one's thoughts and feelings in a spoken language. We have been doing this all our life from the time we have started speaking, but we have done it in a manner that it was taught to us, or as we have imitated from our elders, our parents and grandparents, our siblings around us. But it has been called as a skill because it has the ability to do something well. When we are learning it as a skill, we are doing it effectively, or we are learning to do it efficiently. So speaking skills are the skills that give us the ability to communicate effectively, to put across our thoughts in an efficient manner. When we are trying to say something, it should not be that people should get confused or people should be not so well informed about what is being said. So it is important that we must speak effectively and very clearly so that people are not confused. And it plays a very important role how we speak, how we make the people feel when we are uttering something, whether we are commenting about how they look like, it is like a compliment are we giving, or what kind of a talk are we doing with other people. Because words have incredible power. They can make the people's heart soar, or they can make people's heart soar. Dr. Marty Grothe, a psychologist from USA, has said these words. They are very powerful. When we speak, our words are very powerful. It can persuade anybody. It can convince somebody. It can even convert their feelings to something what they have been already following or believing. It can compel them to do something that they were not doing it earlier. Says Dr. Ralph Waldo Emerson. He's also a poet from USA, and says that words have incredible power. They are very powerful. So it is very important that we, for our career success, and it is not limited just to our professional aspirations. Speaking skills also, as I told you before, can enhance one personal life, thereby bringing about the well-rounded growth we should all seek for. These essentials of effective speaking are that we should not think that our audience are our enemies. They are not our enemies. Audience are, once or twice we see that, we think that audience are our enemies, or if we make any mistake while we are presenting something, they might remember it and they might taunt us, or they might make fun of us, or they might regard us as something worthless or something. Nothing to be. Nobody is perfect when we are doing this. Everyone lags short of something or the other. So it is not that if you are lagging behind, or if you have done any mistake, people will forget it. So determine what you want the audience to think and feel or do. Why? When we want to speak something, how can we make our speech effective is that when we are coming and talking to them, we need to have a clear perception about what we want our audience to think, feel, or do. That is main important thing. For that, you need to write your speech word for word. Whatever you are doing when you are coming to give some speech, a formal presentation in front of anybody, then what you need to do is you need to write your speech word for word. What happens when you are doing this is that you are clear in your mind what is it that you're going to go on the desk and going to tell. So this gives you a lot of confidence. When you walk to the podium, you are already confident that because you know what you are going to talk, since you have everything written and you are clear about that. And while you are doing this, you need to bring life to your words with colorful images and examples. Examples are very important when you are giving any speech, or when you are speaking in front of anybody. So you need to use some nice, colorful words that will bring, which will evoke a lot of imagination about your concept, about your topic, about your speech, or that topic amongst your audience. Then how you need to do it? Make a point. You need to make a point when you are telling something, and then tell it in the form of a story. People like to listen to stories. And those 6 emotions that will connect with any audience, that is, if you crack a joke, audience are very much happy, and they feel good about the concept that you are saying. That if you share happiness, they become very relaxed. And then the sadness, anger, surprise, disgust, and fear, these are some of the things that the audience like to relate with you. If you are sharing this type of 6 emotions, major emotions with your audience, they will be connected with you. They try to connect with you, and you will be able to put across your thoughts in an easy manner. And the last thing is that you should not tell what is it that you are telling. Don't tell what you are telling. Take them to the place like, not like a reporter, but as if though they are looking at the scene. Okay, so be a good storyteller in front of your audience so that they relate with you. As I've told you, the audience are not your enemy. Just remember that the audience is not our enemy. The reason why many people avoid public speaking is because they have a fear of a hostile and unknown audience. Because they do not know, there is no friend around, or there might be new people who are going to make an opinion about us. And there are also people who are going to know us for the time, and they are going to give regards to us, or we are going to make a mark in their life. So they might regard us as enemies. And then good speaking begins with good writing. If you have written the speech word to word from what you are going to say when you meet them first time, how you are going to start your speech to how you are going to end. If you have written it down and read it several times and edited and re-edited it, then you have a perfect piece in your hand. You know what to talk, what not to talk, and how you want to make your mark in front of your audience. What is the message that you want to put across your audience is there in your hand. And as I told you, bring life to your words with colorful images and examples. This is where style becomes apparent. Choose those words which evoke the audience's own imaginations, so that they start to experience what you are saying rather than just hearing it. Like as if though they are trying to relate, or they are making a picture in their mind, and as you are speaking to them about your experiences, they are adding on to that picture and making that picture complete. That's how they try to relate with you, with your emotions, with your message, and also be ready to listen to what you are saying and ready to act upon what you are trying to say. Then, as I told you, make a point and then tell a story. You should have a point to your speech. Rather than explain that point to your audience, you need to have them discover it through experiencing it as part of the story you tell. Like I told a small story in my last video, so you can just refer to it. about how we can relate to people and how we can ask them to experience it through our examples. Then when we are choosing our words, not only they create an image but also evoke at least one of the emotions, like make them feel happy, make them like through their sadness or some disgusting experience that they had, sad experience that they have. Try to like relate, make them relate to you. When people empathize with you, they are more willing to accept your message that you want to convey in your speech. So this becomes easy if you tell them how you felt at that particular time, or how, because of certain inefficiencies or because of some shortcomings that you were not able to do, they'll be ready to fulfill all those shortcomings by giving a helping hand to you or whatever you want them to do through your message. Okay, don't tell us. Take, rather than describing the incident like a reporter, take us as an eyewitness to the event by acting it out with movements, gestures, vocal inflections, and that put us right there in the middle of the action. In this video, we are going to also talk about how verbal and non-verbal communication affects our conversation, affects our speech. So if you are trying to tell them, just don't say with a plain face or without any gestures, without any postures. Try to include those vocal inflections, the type of voice or the movements that are invoking the gestures and postures or body language or facial expressions that are required to for the audience to understand what is happening around. So it's not just telling them, take them there by the actions, as the picture suggests. It does not matter how active you are in communicating with others. Sometimes you may face communication barriers also. These barriers could be, as we have said, that physiological barriers are there, and speaking abilities. There's sometimes people are not well versed. Stammering, stuttering could be some of the reasons. And if you are not well prepared, then stammering, or sometimes people go blank when they come and stand in front of the people. In spite of having lot of knowledge, all the information that is required about the topic, people think that we may not be well versed or something, that kind of inferiority complex. Apart from this, it could be because of the rough and unclear data or information about the topic. We are confident that we'll be able, once we go on to the podium, we'll be able to talk. But if we have a rough and unclear data, many theorists believe that most of the mistakes happen in the beginning 50% of our preparation for the presentation. So if we have not prepared well for the speech or for the presentation, then we have prepared for failing. We have prepared to fail. Rough and unclear data is one of the reasons for that. Inconsistent communication, missing the flow and going too fast or too slow. Sometimes if we are bothered, or sometimes when we are very nervous, that time we speak very fast. And when we are calm or we are soothed, we are relaxed, then we talk very slowly. So it should not happen that way. It should not be inconsistent. Communication should be proper, flow of speech should be there, one of the other, in sequential and logical manner. Word should flow, one thing leading to the other, and it should look as if though you are connecting things, you are making, adding loops to the chain or something like that. It should appear. Because of the inconsistent communication, also they might create some kind of barriers in your communication. Unclear pronunciation, abrupt sentences or words. Sometimes because of the unclear pronunciation, because we are not following the proper, or due to the presence of mother tongue influence, that MTI is present, we are not able to pronounce the words properly. Then also some kind of barrier might occur. Sometimes we do not understand the foreigners, how they speak. the local or native speakers speak. But the native speakers might not understand our pronunciation. So this might happen. So if you are not in the habit of listening to the native speakers, this might act as a barrier to our speaking skill. Then a miscommunication or not understanding the listener. It could be due to many reasons. It could be because they are confused themselves, or we are miscommunication is happening because of the inappropriate vocabulary that they are using. Okay. And sometimes using of negative words, like meanings of some words may differ from region to region and culture to culture. They might mean something very good in one language, and they are meaning something very detrimental in the other language, other regional colloquial words or something. So it acts as, this also acts as a barrier when we are speaking. If the pronunciation is not good, if you are not understanding, you do not have the knowledge about the culture or the beliefs of that land, then also some kind of barriers in speaking occurs. So a few examples I want to give. Like gift in English refers to something given voluntarily to someone without payment, but in German, gift means poison. So if I say to a German, I want to give you a gift, then he might run away from that place and he does not want to accept it. But if an English person is asked whether you want a gift, they would be willingly happy to take it. So likewise, in English, knave means lacking experience, wisdom, or sophistication, often with a negative connotation. However, in French, knave simply means innocent and doesn't necessarily have the same negative overtone. This kind of examples we must also know, because certain words differ in region to region. Okay, so how it affects. Although you communicate simply by being in the world, developing good verbal and body language skills involving learning and consciously using your skills to improve. Then effectiveness then refers to the level of quality with which a task or process is carried out that ultimately leads to higher overall performance. Then what is the effectiveness in communication? It is the ability to inform, persuade, and direct somebody. Like business managers, educators, military leaders, lawyers, and politicians, among others, seek to develop their speaking skills to such a level that they are transformed into master communicators. Speaking clearly and confidently can give the attention of an audience, providing the golden opportunity for the speaker to make the message known. It is very important that if you are holding such important places, you need to be a good communicator for the people, to persuade them, to direct them, or to inform them about your knowledge, about your experiences, about your feelings, and how you want the action to be taken. Then it also helps us, if you have the good speaking skills, communication skills, you will have the ability to stand out from the rest of the crowd. You will be recognized. These are the qualities that will enhance the leadership skills in a person. When one thinks of speaking skills, one tends to think of it as a common skill. Think again. The ability to stand before others and speak effectively is not an ordinary ability. Many people are deathly afraid of public speaking. Others have the little ability to form thoughts into sentences and then deliver those thoughts in a believable way. Like a research was done on some 1,000 people, and they were asked about what is the most fearful thing that they have in their lives. So many people, more than 90% of the people, said that fear of speaking in front of others. So this is not an easy task. People need to learn that ability. If they are coming in front of others to speak also, they must be able to do it effectively. They must make the audience understand. Whoever is listening to them, they must make them understand. If they are confusing them, it is not a worthwhile task to do. So if one is able to do that, they will have a career enhancement as well. These are important for career success. It is not limited to professional aspirations, but speaking skills can enhance one's personal life as well, bringing about the well-rounded growth one is all seeking to do that. In doing this, more than 65% of our communication is non-verbal, and the remaining 35% of our communication, which we think is verbal, but actually it is accompanied by again non-verbal communication. Only 7% of our communication is purely verbal, and the rest is all non-verbal communication. We need to take care of lot about how we use our hands, our head movements, our eye movements, facial expressions, how our shoulders are, whether we are slouching or our body posture is perfect. All these things matter a lot while we are communicating. Along with speaking skills, this is a very important aspect of how non-verbal skills or non-verbal cues accompany when we are communicating with others. The effectiveness of verbal communication depends on the tone of the speaker, clarity of the speech, and the volume, how much of the voice that they are using, and how much of the speed, whether they are maintaining the consistency, or sometimes when they are free or when they are aware of the subject, they go in high speed, and when they are not so well versed, or when they are a little bit confused about the topic, sometimes they go slowly. Then how body language, what is the type of body language that they are using? Are they confident or are they nervous? They are showcasing nervousness, or and the quality of words used in the conversation, it makes a lot of difference. What kind of words are you using? It shows from where you are, where you have been brought up. What kind of an upbringing have you got? What kind of qualities that have been inculcated in you will show when you are using, or the choice of words will clearly convey the type of upbringing that you had. Then we have the non-verbal communication, as I told you, includes gestures, facial expressions. There are n number of emotions. As there are n number of emotions, there are n number of facial expressions associated with that. No two feelings or no two expression or feelings are same for that facial expression. So that body position, how collectively as body language they are known as well as unspoken understandings and presuppositions, and cultural and environmental conditions that may affect an encounter between the people. There are other categories and of body movements that include gestures, postures, and facial expression. These include the emblems, illustrators, regulators, and adapters. Open body postures, closed body posture, and again open and closed body postures, and facial expressions. Different emotion has a different face picture, like emoticon, happy, sad, as you can see, surprised has a different face value, and thinking, when one is thinking, when one is angry, no two feelings are same, no two feelings are depicted in the same facial expression. Confused and sleepy look alike, but they are not. The eye movements are different. One is embarrassed, the color of the face differs, all these things. When we are talking about the audio visual aids, whiteboards and interactive whiteboards are there, and then we have flip charts, then videos, audios that are played, and PowerPoint presentations and overhead projectors. All these are the audio visual aids that will enhance our presentation. So we have been using our whiteboards and interactive boards, which are available, and they have good for developing an explanation, and they are also used for brainstorming sessions, diagrams, and simple headings, and for recording interactions and comments from the audience during brainstorming sessions, and whiteboards, you should ensure that your handwriting is legible, aligned horizontally, and is sufficiently large to be seen by all the audience. Usually what happens if you are addressing a large gathering, the board, white interactive board, might look small, or if the handwriting is small, or the color behind the background on the whiteboard, if it is light, if it is white only, then you need to use darker font ink that will ensure this easy visibility to the last of the audience. Then you also have to ensure that the ink, that font ink that you are using, should be non-permanent. These pens, which can be used to dry wipe, and then rather than permanent marker, so that your writing can be erased later. It will not leave its mark over there. Then flip charts is an easily available product, and it is also popular. It is low cost, low tech solution. We do not need much of the technology for this. It is easily available. You can even draw, or graphs, or you can even draw some diagrams and bring it from beforehand. You can draw and bring it. It requires no power actually, source, and no technical expertise is also required. We just have to flip the charts, and the word itself suggests us that we have to just flip the charts, and then the pages keep on appearing. We need to have a proper thick pen, darker ink for that, and a response for the audience, and good for spontaneous summaries. If you have to write some summaries, it will be good for using if you use the flip charts. Then we have the audio. If you are playing this, videos are excellent for training purposes, but can be difficult to fit into a presentation structure. If a computer connected to a projector is available, then videos can be played as files from a DVD, or with an internet connection via YouTube or other online sources. Videos can also be built into a presentation using PowerPoint or other presentation software. These are very good. It can be inserted along with your presentation, or you can have it as files, and you can even play it over there. Use of PowerPoint presentation. A separate video I have made on this, how to what are the things that you should do while you are doing PowerPoint presentations, like when to prepare the slides, how they should be, one narrative per slide as you are explaining, and it is used to enhance your presentation. If you think when in doubt, just dump it. How you should use the ink, and the font size, and the font ink, all these things I have discussed in another video. You can always go there and refer to it. Then overhead projectors, as you can say, they command attention, but with other visual aids, we can be taken to talk to the audience and not the screen. Overhead, these projectors are suitable for both large and small groups, although the machines can be noisy and unreliable sometimes. Then there are certain things that we must remember when we are addressing a small or a large formal gathering. When we are speaking to a large audience, addressing them for a large formal gathering, is, as I told you, is not an easy goal, but it can be done. Setting aside time to assemble your piece, it is something same as the presentation points that we have discussed in an earlier video. I am going to just brush up over here with them, and then we'll go forward and explain about how the 4 P's of presentation should be followed. Beginning by setting aside time to assemble the bar, that falls under the planning category. When you are knowing, move on by jotting down points you want to get across to your audience. When you are planning all these things, that what you are going to talk to your audience, what is the topic, who are the audience going to be, what is their level of understanding, what is their educational background, what is their cultural background, socio-economic background, all these things we need to know, their pet peeves. Then what are the things that move them and what are the things that they are requiring. Then you can mix up something to hold your audience's attention, and some of your stories, illustrations, props like images, graphics, and all these videos and slideshows, whatever you want to add up to that, you have to do over here. Then, as I told you, do your audience analysis. Who are they going to be? Dig up their eccentricities, wants, aches, and pet peeves. Be aware of their age bracket. Demographics are an integral part of discovering your audience's attention. Make sure that there aren't things you are embarrassed to say or not positive about the pronunciation. It will also help you not to use words you don't know the meanings, or you also have to use too many words that people don't know the definition of. That alone might make them not care of your speech. This will be very difficult, considering the fact that they would be awesome, have a clue what you are talking about. This will help you a lot in your then accentuate the positive, make more noticeable that what kind of a speaker are you. To be more effective, you have to identify your style. Get in touch with your strengths and weaknesses as a speaker and zero in on what you do best. Do you have a great sense of humor, or are you a good storyteller? After a thorough analysis, pick your kind and focus on delivering your talk with your own style, and in this way, you can shine like a star. Don't alter yourself because you think one style is better than another, or try to be somebody you are not. This will make you a different presenter, a new presenter. If you are following someone else, that might become a already an archaic thing of presentation. Get comfortable with the environment. It is very important. When you check your speaking venue first, you also discover whether you have the freedom to walk to and fro from a nasal, and also you will be confined in a tiny spot or what. This are like behind a podium. Are you restricted, or you have some space to move around? These small details, they look small, but they are not actually small. If you do think about thoroughly about them, you will make all the difference in your speaking engagement. These are some of the things. Then when if you visualize your audience, if you are afraid of the fear of public speaking is related to the fear of criticism. What will people think about me? What will they regard me as? Where would they put me, or where would they not put me, and things like that. And the fear of criticism is related to the fear of people's opinion of non-acceptance. Then you won't beat this fear easily, but try this. Imagine that you are talking to a group of people who are ignorant. Think that you are the master of your presentation today. Visualize the scene. I'm pretty sure you will be smiling while climbing the stage if you are confident enough. And if you have to carry some papers, or if you want to, if you have some slip for you to remind certain things, or you are doubtful that you are going to forget certain things, do not carry them with you. The very sight that you are carrying some paper with you makes the audience think that you are not well prepared. So if it is mandatory, if you think it is essential that you have to carry those papers with you, send it through somebody. And as soon as you start your presentation, do not say that I don't know why the organizers have called me, I'm no good in this topic. This will question your credibility as a presenter. The audience will doubt your presentation skills, your credibility as a presenter. So what you need to do, you need to take a lot of deep breathing so that you are relaxed and you are not confused, or you are not nervous. Even if you have a bit of nervousness, you are using it to perform better. You are preparing yourself well in advance because you are nervous that you may not be able to present well. In that fear, you might prepare well, you may do extra preparations to be there in front of your audience. The first and the foremost important thing is look into the eyes of your audience and start talking, start speaking in front of them, and try to maintain. There you will see some smiling faces who are welcoming your talk. They're trying to understand you, who are nodding their heads in agreement to what you are trying to say. So maintain more eye contact with those people and try to get confidence from them. And there are some smiling faces. There are people who are nodding at your content. So that will make you more confident. Then make sure to address the following issues, like focus your presentation on the audience, organize your information into 3 to 5 points or categories, build repetition, because when we are reading something, if we miss out on something, we can always go back, try to read it again, and try to understand and connect with the previous point. But when we are listening to somebody, what we need to do is we need to I mean, what the presenter should do is that they need to build repetitions. Frequently, they need to repeat certain things. Your audience cannot go back and read over something that they have missed or did not understand. So, what you have to do, build repetition through internal summaries, transitions, analogies, and stories. Then you have to divide the introduction, the middle body, and the conclusions in a proper manner. 10% of your content should be introduction, and then the middle part should be 80%, and then the conclusion should be again 10%. Introduce yourself if needed, providing your affiliation and or your credibility. If you are doing it in the same class, there is no need for you to say that I belong to so and so class. But if you are outside, presenting outside, or you are giving any lecture outside, then you need to give a brief self-introduction about yourself, and then if you are like affiliation, you need to that I belong to IARE, or what is my credibility I need to speak. Create an effective opening that will interest your audience. Pose a question, give an amazing fact, or tell a short story, interesting short story, or you can even crack a joke related to the topic. What happens when you are trying to connect or relate to your audience, when you are asking a questions, they feel that if they are not able to answer, they might feel embarrassed. So they listen more carefully to you. Then if you are presenting an amazing fact to them that they might not be knowing, then they regard you as a very knowledgeable person. Again, their attention will be more towards you. Stories, always people love to listen to stories. So tell them short stories related to your topic, some interesting jokes, or laughable jokes that you might. Do not tell them cheap jokes, or that they feel embarrassed about, or the certain jokes which they do not understand. Reveal your topic to the audience and explain why it is important for them to learn about it. I mean, they have devoted their time, they have come and sat down to listen to you, there should be something that they should be taking back home. Tell them that how it is going to benefit them if they are going to listen to you. Revealing your topic, after giving them a hook, first give a hook, and then after that give your introduction, then present them your topic with a story related to that. If you are making your audience happy and relaxed, they will be more receptive to learning. One person is relaxed, they are more receptive to learning. That's why it is important that you make your audience relaxed. Then they have the main body. Explain your points over there. Clear explanation, sufficient evidence should be there to be convincing. Use transitions and use analogies. And then when you are concluding the topic, signal your conclusion with a transition. Summarize your points. Refer to future action if it is needed. End with a thank you note. And if you are answering questions, tell your answer. Now I'll be happy to answer your questions, or give them some time, or this time for discussion and things like that. When you are practicing for your presentation, it is essential that at this stage of the process that you figure out word and phrase emphasis and the timing of your sections and overall presentations. When you are actually doing, you might not be given the time as you fancy. There will be some stipulated timing given for every presenter. So you need to prepare your presentation according to the stipulated time only. If you exceed or if you finish below, this will prove that you are not a perfect speaker. So while you are editing and re-editing, make sure that your time is fixed in that. Uh, for that, you need to record your presentation and review it in order to know how your sound and how you and your sound appear to your audience, and also keep a track of the time. Consider using different colored highlighters to remind yourself when to pause, when to emphasize a particular point, and when to have a slight change on your PowerPoint presentations. Practice in front of peers and elicit feedback. Ask your peers to comment on your delivery and content. First, listen to your, after recording your content, ask your like friend or anybody to record your content when you are preparing. First, practice in front of the mirror and then record it. And after recording, you have to watch it. Just mute it and watch it. Then you will know how your body language is working, whether it is apt for that kind of a place. And then you listen to your voice. Are you using your voice properly? Are you eliciting proper kind of um, response to your audience? Are you properly maintaining eye contact? Are you relaxed or are you looking nervous? All these things you need to check in your body language by making it mute. Then you need to listen to it. Change the side and just keep your phone or whatever your devices. Don't look at it. Just listen to it, and then you will know whether you are doing proper pronunciation of the words properly or not. And then is your flow proper? Is it too fast, too slow? All these things we need to check at this stage. You are your best judge. You can do it yourself. Then at this stage, when presenting, it is your job to make your audience feel comfortable and engaged with both you and the material of the presentation. Maintain eye contact, as I told you. Only look at the notes or slides very briefly. Sweep the room with your gaze, pausing briefly on various people who all look interested towards your topic. There are some people from their body language you will understand that these people are very curious to know much further. Be aware of your body posture. It is very essential. So, meanwhile, while we are presenting, we are so much engrossed in our topic that we lose track of how our body movement is. So be enthusiastic about your topic and be aware of your body posture always, and keep a smiling face. Slow down your speech, and we naturally talk faster, as I told you, when we are nervous, and we need to include pauses to allow your listeners to keep up and time for you to think ahead. Use gestures to emphasize points and move about the speech if possible. Calibrate the volume of your voice so that people in the back of the room can hear you too. Avoid fillers such as I mean, like, okay, things like that. Act as natural and relaxed as possible. Dress appropriately. No gaudy dresses, no tattoos or no hennas on the hands, and do not wear informal dresses to your presentation. Like when you have started your presentation, get some new dresses stitched, or keep the best dress for the best formal dress for that presentation. Okay. Then answer the questions clearly and concisely as possible. With this, I come to an end of the speaking skills session. Soft skills and interpersonal communication. I, Waheeda, sign off.
Like, share and subscribe. hit the bell icon for more updates.